Water on myself.
Welcome to Big Brother Basics, where we break down the basics of Big Brother Basics Season 2. My name is Keith Groh, and joining me today is the always fantastic, always wonderful Joe Gonzalez. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. Thank you for having me, Keith.
You're also erratic and ecstatic. So we're getting to the point of the game where people are dropping like flies, and we're going to find a winner very, very soon. Joe, how do you feel going into this final six? Do you think it's a good final six? Half the cast is gone.
Going into this final six, I feel like a few people definitely think that they're in danger, and they should be because they are. The game has been thus far, I feel, pretty controlled by a couple of people,
Mhm.
and
Who are those people?
right now I would definitely say that those people are Katie and Patrick.
Okay.
They are definitely doing a good job of concealing their true pairedness, and they are still not on people's radars in terms of a pair that needs to be put up together.
It's very, very true. We go into the HOH competition, and it comes to a tiebreaker. Before and after, we have Patrick, Katie, and Kirsten all going for the tiebreaker. How many spins were spun in the spinning competition? And Kirsten goes over by 1,000, and the answer was 8,000, and the next lowest without going over was 540. So, like, it was such a huge discrepancy, but Katie pulls out the win. I feel like Katie winning HOH this week was good. I didn't know what she was going to do. I mean, I had a pretty good idea that Kirsten was going to be in danger, but I was interested to see how Katie was going to approach the week because it seems like she was in a good relationship with most of the other people in the game. And so, yeah, then Katie won. It's time to talk strategy, talk game. And Jason, out of nowhere, starts stepping up his game. Katie and Jason haven't really had a relationship. However, Jason went to Katie, exposed his alliance with him, Willie, and Kirsten, which got Katie enough mistrust in Willie to put Willie on the block. Joe, do you think that this was a good move for Katie, knowing that Katie and Willie had a pretty decent relationship, but now with Katie being in a position of power and with Jason, who was kind of a non-entity, coming over to Katie with this information, do you think it was good for her to put up Willie instead of Jason?
No. And I will say no because, well, yes, that was an alliance, that was a thing. It wasn't a real thing. And Jason, I want to give him props. He did a great job of extending himself forward, putting that olive branch, trying to reel something back in, some sort of support for the week. And I think that if Katie maybe had a little more time to marinate on the decision for nomination, she probably would have still put up Jason. But Willie's on the block with Kirsten. Kirsten was expected. I think that Willie, like as we saw, like he realizes the mistake that he did with Katie of not telling her. Because I mean, if you're gonna say Katie's one of your closest allies and you don't tell her about your side deals, and she finds out about it, you can't be too butthurt. So I think that this only hurts Katie in a sense that Willie thought he could trust her, and now if Willie ends up in the jury at some point,
Or in a position of
or in a
power.
position of power, he'll know that one, Jason sold his alliance out, and he'll know two, that Katie doesn't trust him. So those are two things that I think are negative towards its nomination.
I have two other things to add. One is that Katie confronted Willie. Hopefully, I don't forget the other one. But Katie confronted Willie, and Willie still didn't confess. Like she literally said, "Are you in a group with Kirsten, Jason, and yourself, Willie?" And he was like, "No, man, no." So
Yeah.
it's like if somebody's like has that much specific information, one of your members of your group sold it out. You should have just owned it. And so that could kind of create a mistrust on Willie's perspective. And the second thing, I probably forgot.
Does it have to do with jury management? Because I would like to talk about
Sure,
that.
you can talk about jury management.
So if Katie does end up, evicting Kirsten and Willie in the near future, we definitely sense the fact that those two people possibly will not vote for her because they are gonna basically pin this on her because she's the HOH right now, and things that can go down in that way. And even though Willie might initially be mad with Jason right now for exposing this alliance, I think ultimately Willie would see that Jason was trying to save his own ass. That's why Jason's not on the block right now. I don't know. I just think that Katie going about it this week, I get why she did it. I don't think it's a bad move. I don't think it's a good move though.
For nominating Willie.
Nominating Willie.
Yeah, I mean they created a final three with Jason, and it seems good. Like it's like if it's a convenient alliance, like if it works, then it works. But if not, then Jason's gonna go up anyway. But it's good to see Jason play the game now. It's just unfortunate that he's also helping Katie and Patrick get to the end. So we go into the veto competition. Everybody competes. It's a memory competition, and people were brought in one by one. I found out that Patrick was helping Kirsten do well in the competition because Patrick is good with Kirsten. Even though his final two, Katie is not, Patrick and Kirsten are very, very good. So it was a memory competition. Apparently Patrick was like, since he went first, he was kind of like prepping Kirsten, because Kirsten was the last person to compete, of like, okay, so here's 16 items, like memorize it. So just a little like training before Kirsten went. I thought that was very interesting that Patrick was helping Kirsten get the power of veto. I would be interested to see how if like Katie found out about that, like how she would react. That would like give me so much life. But unfortunately, Kirsten did not pull through in the win. She ended up getting second place, tied with Katie, with first place being Mike. Now, Mike is also in an alliance with Patrick and Katie. It seems like the popular thing to do right now. But Mike is off the block. He has people on the block like Kirsten and Willie. Joe, if you were in the game in Mike's position, knowing that the first couple of weeks you weren't active socially, so that was the perception of you, and then now you have the opportunity to kind of like make a move to claim as your own. Do you think like now would be a good time, or do you think that maybe not using the veto is actually okay?
So with Mike winning the power veto, I definitely think that it would have been better for his resume to have used it on either of the nominees. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Make Katie get some blood. Make her get some enemies. You know that people like her. You've said it in your confessionals. You've said that like people like Patrick. Like you know that these are the people that could potentially win. So you have this, and I know you want to be loyal to them, but you're not going against them because Katie's not going to put up Patrick, and Katie's not going to like. She'll be upset with you, but it's fine. Like she likes you more than other people. So why not make her get some blood so that your jury resume is better if you make it to the final two?
It's also about getting to the final two too. Like if there's a clear enemy in Kirsten and Katie, and if you like veto Kirsten, sure you're affiliating yourself with Kirsten, but you're also keeping that enemy in. Like Katie and Kirsten are never going to take each other to the final two, and I feel like if you get rid of like somebody that's on the odd end, somebody else is going to take that person's spot. It could be you, but you don't see that, and that's okay because Patrick and Katie are very good at painting their illusion of not working close together but still working with everybody at the same time. So Mike ends up not using the power of veto. Both nominees, I think, actually had pretty good veto ceremony speeches. Willie made like a bus analogy where you're either pushed under the bus, you're driving the bus, or you're a passenger. I get what you're saying, Willie, but you could have been a driver, but you decided to take care of Patrick's other nominee during your HOH reign. Yeah, he was pushed under the bus this week. And then Kirsten, was basically like, nobody's playing the game, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I think that both nominees kind of just allowed Katie to have the game that she was playing. It was interesting to me that I don't think either of the nominees campaigned too much to stay. I think they were just allowing Katie to kind of run this like deal. Like, in my opinion, there's only 2 votes that are needed to win. I would have said everything that I possibly could have to Jason, to Patrick, and to Mike. And I think the opportunity was
there was so many things. Kirsten, we know Kirsten saving Mike with the DPOV the previous round. Kirsten, I know she did talk to Mike, but she didn't say, well, I'm close to Patrick. Patrick is close to Katie. Like, if he would have been like their pair, like, we have to like stop them. But Kirsten didn't do that. She didn't have that fire to talk to Mike and be like, yeah.
But Kirsten doesn't know how close Patrick and Katie is.
It's true.
Kirsten's under the assumption.
But you're on the block. Just say shit.
Kirsten's under the impression that Kirsten and Patrick are our final 2. Now, my thing is, like, if Patrick's my final 2, why isn't he campaigning hard for me to stay? Mm-hmm. Because even, like, we're a secret alliance, like, bullshit. Like, I'm about to go home if you don't campaign for me.
Well, I mean, Patrick did tell her, like, you're probably going home.
Well, yeah, Patrick did tell her that she's probably going home, but why couldn't he find out if Jason or Mike could potentially keep Kirsten? All I know is that if the
Patrick
role,
did-
if the scripts were flipped and if Katie were on the block, Patrick would be campaigning to every single person rather than saying, "Oh, Katie, you're probably going home."
Do you think so?
Oh, 100%. Katie and Patrick are totally like in it to win it together, whereas Kirsten is more expendable to Patrick and would like keep Kirsten around should it be convenient. But Patrick has a lot of good relationships with everybody. I just know for a fact, and I saw it in the fast forward week when it was between Katie and Jermaine. Patrick campaigned to make sure that Katie was staying and not Jermaine. Whereas Kirsten's on the block now. He only needs one more vote. He only needs Mike. He only needs Jason. He has the ability to get one of them to vote however he wants, but he decided to let Kirsten go.
Well, then let's go back to jury management. Is this a good thing for Patrick to just let Kirsten go, let Ryan go, let Jermaine go?
Well, I know that Jermaine and Ryan feel some type of way of Patrick. Kirsten does not. Kirsten feels that Patrick did what he could. I call bullshit. Like, he could definitely do a lot more if he really valued Kirsten as an ally, which is kind of a sad story arc for me for Kirsten. The only critique I have for Kirsten's gameplay is her relationship with Patrick, because she put so much faith and time and energy into making it good, and Patrick, she was always going to be number two to Katie. She was always going to be number two to Katie. Like, even with the saboteur tasks, like, I would realize that all the tasks that's causing this mayhem and paranoia, Patrick's just skating by. Like, he's not affected positively or negatively to the saboteur tasks, while everybody else kind of had like these ups and downs with the saboteur mayhem. So I think Patrick was blessed that Kirsten was a saboteur and blessed that she had so much faith in him. And then it's kind of sad from a viewer's perspective how little he returned that type of loyalty. But it's not Patrick's fault. I mean, Patrick definitely had a positive relationship with Katie. But just as a viewer, I was disappointed with how little it was returned from Patrick's end.
Is Katie cowboy? Is Kirsten Diane?
I don't know if that's a good analogy. That's definitely not a good analogy.
Not a good analogy?
No one's cowboy in this season.
Oh.
And
Good
it's
for
definitely
y'all.
not Katie. Katie's definitely not a cowboy. She's more of a leader than a follower. Anyways, so we go into the eviction ceremony. They vote to evict. It's a unanimous 3-0 votes, and Kirsten is out of the game. I do have to say, now that Kirsten is gone, these next few evictions, granted we're at Final 5, these next few evictions are going to be just like, we just need to get through it. Because I'm really not sure if there's going to be anything that's going to be revolutionary, because it seems like people are made their bed and like are going to lie in it. Like, they're going to be loyal to Patrick and Katie. They're just going to get to the end with them, and hopefully it'll work out for their game. Do you think that there's more room for some strategy, or do you think that's going to be the tone for the rest of the season?
Well, we just found out who won HOH for this upcoming week.
Okay.
Let's talk about that for a sec.
Okay.
Patrick is the HOH at Final 5. Final 5 HOH is not the best HOH to win, because someone could go on during your reign that you did nominate, obviously, because if someone you don't nominate uses that veto, forces someone up, something could go wrong. There is a low possibility that someone like Katie or Mike could go this week, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Willie or Jason leave next. But after that, who knows?
So going back to my original question, do you think that there's still room for strategy?
Yes, very little.
Very little room for strategy.
Very little room for strategy.
Like, who do you think would make the final two at this point?
At this point, it is most likely going to be Katie and Patrick. However, I think that there is a small chance that it could be Katie and either Mike or Jason. Because I think that Jason has a little more fight in him that we haven't seen yet. He's going to really feel it with these competitions coming up, and I think he's going to bring it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I personally don't see that much strategy happening going forward, just because Mike and Willie have this odd like rivalry going on, and Mike's got to be loyal to Patrick and Katie, at least for now. I think through Final 3 too, because he doesn't like Jason either, if you remember his HOH reign.
Oh, yeah.
Jason exposed Willie's alliance, and so he's going to work with Patrick and Katie. Willie's on the outs, so he doesn't really have anyone to turn to. He's just on his own, so his only way of surviving is through competitions, and we both already found out that Patrick not only won HOH, but is targeting Willie for this coming round. So kudos to Patrick and Katie. I think y'all are playing a great game, but we just need to get through these next couple of weeks, because I feel like there's not going to be much strategy gameplay from the other house guests. They're just ushering Patrick and Katie to the final two.
Y'all ready for that twist where we bring back 5 people?
Yeah, we're bringing back 5 people, right? No, just kidding. But yeah, that's it. Do you have anything else to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think this has been a fun season. I think that everything is going well, and hopefully these house guests continue to deliver their confessionals, because I love to keep up with them.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and remember, stay basic.